Hey, what's up, metal and heavy music fans? It's Flight of Icarus again with MetalTrenches.com, and today we're talking about Wretch and their new album, All My Dreams Came True. And hey, if you like to be kept up to date with the best and brightest metal bands and albums from the underground and above, then stick with me by hitting that subscribe button down below. Wretch is a black metal duo based out of Los Angeles with an interesting twist on the formula. Foregoing use of guitars completely, the music is driven entirely by the classical piano and tortured howls of John Stephen Morgan alongside the drumming of Barret Maumgart, to stunning effect, I might add. Their debut self-titled effort really made an impact on me back in 2017, so I was very pleased to find John pop up in my inbox again back in January. In fact, I loved what he had to say so much I thought I'd share part of it. I wanted to first say thank you for the incredible reviews, enthusiasm, and support of our first album. Sometimes I still go back and reread them in times of despair and doubt, haha. It helps me remember that there are people out there that care and who understand the project, that it did connect. The words you wrote tapped into the most essential parts and emotions behind its creation, and I always crack up over this. This is him quoting me. It sounds like the Phantom of the Opera traded his mask and singing for corpse paint and tortured howls. He beats on that ivory like it owes him money. Returning to his thoughts, the strange thing about that is that I do play piano for money in the street. I take a full upright around Oakland and San Francisco, and I actually do beat the shit out of it for a living.
Punch the keys, for God's sake!
And despite the ivory abuse, make no mistake that the resulting sounds here are actually quite breathtaking. A highly unique take on what could probably most be closely grouped into the post-black genre. If there is one band I could draw some comparisons to, it would probably be Botanist. Wretch deliver a similar feel and atmosphere that is lush and organic, just trade the hammered dulcimer for a seemingly endless deluge of classical piano. There is also a fairly obscure little album called Lauristine from the band So Hideous that took a very similar approach, but other than that, this is not something you're going to hear anywhere else. It doesn't take long to get your footings either. Opening track Mysterium does an excellent job of showcasing what to expect from Wretch as a whole. It's cascading keys like a waterfall of unbridled emotion. It's a stunning downpour of joy, grief, and everything in between, driven ever forwards by the highly kinetic drumming. And speaking of which, respect needs to be paid for the work on the kit here. It would be really easy to get caught up in the piano at the expense of everything else, but I promise that the pounding rhythms are equally impressive in their very live and freeform sounding approach. In a strange way, it reminds me a little bit of the Birdman soundtrack, always keeping things moving ever forwards and injecting some serious energy along the way. This is especially apparent on Scherzo and In Agony to the Earth and Heaven, which also only further demonstrates the shifting mood of Wretch's music. These are both much darker sounding tracks, though not without their own contrasting moments of light. Tension is the name of the game, with the minor key projecting a constant sense of unease which, when paired with the chaotic drumming, makes for a bit of a powder keg of dread. The latter track in particular, with its more minimalist approach, is a truly haunting display of existential horror and isolation. The additional synth atmosphere and echo effect on the vocals sound as if they were recorded in a deep cavern, John crying out for help in the cold, vast darkness. Tracks range from under 3 minutes to over 13, but generally average around 8. It takes you on a bit of a spiritual journey, which may sound a little corny, but I'll be surprised if similar descriptions don't come to mind for others. And maybe it's just been a little while since I listened to the previous effort, but I feel like there is some increased focus on electronic soundscapes in addition to the standard use of piano. Parts of Severed almost feel like they could be the soundtrack to a 70s or 80s horror film in the vein of The Shining. Yeah, the more I think about it, the more these guys should probably consider getting into film scoring like Johnny Greenwood and Trent Reznor. I already have images of scenes being conjured in my mind. It's very inspirational and thought-provoking music that has so much to add to an already effective filmmaker's visuals, like Nicholas Winding Refn or Lars von Trier. All My Dreams Came True works perfectly well on its own, but the prospect of such a union is very exciting to me. But like those films, this music is definitely not for everyone. Those who prefer something a little more pop structured, or likewise a little bit more true cult, if you will both likely have their own issues with Wretch. But even so, I think that this is an album that everyone should try at least once. Even checking out Mysterium or the Darkling Thrush at least. For every few people that are instantly turned off, I think that there will be those whose pupils widen and heart quickens like they're in a Requiem for a Dream style montage. For them, this will be the sonic drug that they never knew that they needed. And if I can reach even just a few of those people to further spread the word, I'll consider it a job well done. I give All My Dreams Came True an 8 for enjoyability. Admittedly, it's not the most fun or thrilling album that you'll necessarily want to listen to over and over. It's more that art house film that you love revisiting every so often to remember what real craft and passion looks like. I give it a 9 for musicianship. Again, both the drumming and piano are spectacular on this album, and even with the just over an hour runtime and lengthier arrangements, Wretch managed to keep it engaging all the way through. And I give it a 9 for innovation. Like I said, there are only a handful of albums out there that can provide even close to a similar experience. And I can all but promise you that it will be the only one of its kind in 2021. That alone seems worth at least giving it a try. So an 8.7 overall and a B+ for Wretch and All My Dreams Came True. Don't miss out on this highly unique experience. Y'all, thanks as always for watching, and let me know down in the comments what did you think of this album, and what is your favorite album maybe of 2021 so far. Things are starting off with a real bang, and man, there's so much to talk about. But yeah, let's have a conversation down in the comments. Don't forget to hit the like button, and hey, stick around because I got plenty more videos coming right after this one. Not only these album reviews, but also interviews with bands on the podcast, tier lists, you name it, we've got it. So plenty of reasons to subscribe if you have not already. Also chat with us on Discord and support on Patreon. But that'll do it for now. Flight of Icarus signing off. I will see you in the trenches.
You're the man now, dog.